Hello guys, hope you're doing well. My name is Mahdi Gholami and this is the third session of LaTeX workshop. In first and second session, we discussed about introduction to LaTeX and what we can do with LaTeX, both professionally and also for our daily basis. Then we discussed the ways that we can use in order to create document with LaTeX, both cloud services such as Overleaf and also using LaTeX locally. Then we create a basic document with LaTeX in the early first session. And in the second session, we discussed about tables, some online tool, table generator, if you remember, to create tables and to address those tables with reference, and also creating a table of content, table of tables, list of tables, etc. Then we discuss about text formatting in LaTeX, changing the font size, changing the color, highlighting, underlining, and etc. Then we discuss about creating equations in LaTeX. In this session, we are going to talk about TikZ and the whole TikZ family of package. I introduce you the very useful website in order to find the documentation of TikZ packages and use those in order to be able to use TikZ to create graphics. Also, we will be discussing about some online website like tables in order to help you to create graphics with user interface, which helps you to create them more intuitively rather than writing, for example, code. We also trying to import some TikZ pictures with TikZample.net. If you remember, I introduced this website also, and we just copy the code and use it in our document. You know that those examples are royalty free and are open source, and you can just grab the code and paste it into your document and you're good to go. In last session, in our next session, we will be discussing about creating papers and also presentation with LaTeX. I believe this would be a great outcome of this workshop to help you to write your own essay and papers. I believe this is the desirable outcome. So in this session, as I told you, we will be working with TikZ. So the website I want to tell you about is CTAN. This website is, as you can see, is comprehensive tech archive network, and you can browse any package that you want. If you are familiar with programmer, especially with Python, you may know this website, which in this you can search whatever package you need. CTAN is like PyPy for LaTeX, and you can search whatever you want here. For example, we just search TikZ. TikZ, as I told you earlier, is a family of packages that all of them are enabling you to do a specific job. For example, this package helps you to create 3D plot with TikZ. We have also the circuit TikZ with 1T. Yes, circuit TikZ is a package that uses TikZ commands in order to create the circuits diagram, which is helpful in electrical engineering, etc. By selecting any package that you want, you can see the documentation here. The documentation is almost always up to date, and you see this is the date that this document has been completed, and it is prone to the revision. It can be revised once in a time, and you can see anything here. The most important part of reading documentation for any application is to find whatever you need and not read it from top to bottom. For example, in order to create a simple circuit, you just browse to the page, to the element that you want to use in, for example, your circuit, and just see how the element is used. I will tell you more about those packages if you need, but I just want to show you the documentation can be present here in CTAN, and here we are focusing in TikZ. Just let me find this. Yes, package TikZ. You see, this is the page for TikZ package. You can see for those packages that are very powerful, we can have two type of manual: minimal introduction to TikZ, which is an unofficial document, and also the manual itself, which is quite long. For the sake of this session, I will be focusing on minimal introduction, and we browse the commands together in order to create those illustrations. And I assure you that if you want to create something very eye-catching, I recommend using this detailed documentation, which you can find it easily. So let's get started with this minimal introduction to TikZ, and I think we're good to go. Let me open the TikZ Studio here. So another project, I can save it in my document folder, TikZ samples. Yes. First of all, we need to, as we discussed earlier, we need to define document class. For the sake of this argument, we use article. I will change it in a bit to, for example, standalone, and then we add our packages. I will use TikZ, I will use GraphicX, and I will use I think status. That is enough for now. We begin our document. First of all, I want to emphasize on a very a kind of advanced topic. Usually we don't need to use our packages in some kind of order, but in some cases we may, especially if you want to use multiple language in your document. For example, for writing Persian in your document, you need to use this package which is called Z Persian, and this package is a very specific need. In order to be able to use this package, you must add it at last of your packages. But I believe some of packages may need some kind of modification, but you do not need it always. Just have it in your mind that some of error may rise due to the order of your due to the unexpected or wrong order of your packages. So for creating creating pictures with TikZ, we need to use an environment. As I told you earlier, in LaTeX we create our environment and use our environment with begin and end command. Yes, and inside that environment we can use the specific argument, the specific kind of command syntax, if I may. The command is like this: draw and semicolon. This represent a kind of syntax in TikZ, and in TikZ it's all about coordinate. For example, if I want to draw a line between if I want to draw a line between 0 and 0 of coordinates, 2, 1 and 1, I just hit the run button and I have this. It may be overwhelming at the first place because you don't know the coordinate, where the coordinates start, and how you can use it in your document. In your document where is 0 and 0. With much practice you can find it easily, and you have something that can help you in this regard, which is a grid command. You can use this instead of those minus. You can have the command grid, which create for you the grid that LaTeX will use in order to create draw your command. If I want to draw my line again, I can have this and that way for reaching the destination, 1 and 1, and semicolon. Do not forget the semicolon. Semicolon is really important. 0, you should use the comma here, not a dot, and then you can see the grid is here. For let me place a bigger grid here, and yes, you see the destination and also the beginning point has been changed from this part to that part. It is really dependent on your picture, on your overall picture size, and you can do it if you try it to create in your document. I will show you. I will show you in a bit about the scaling and etc. Here I can have my grid which much narrower, yes, with much narrower line with this argument. You see that the help lines, I believe, yes, help lines, you see those are the grid lines are grayed out, and you can see those are kind of help line in order to create your picture. So for creating another line, you can you can add another draw argument, or you can add it after your first draw. For example, if I want to draw another line between 1 and 1, 2, for example 2.1, and I should add the semicolon. You see now yes, yes, let me just add extra to help you visualize it. Yes, you see, in order, I just told you that instead of adding another draw, you can also add these at the end of your last draw command, and you are presented with the same picture before. So to continue, yes, we have the scale command inside. First, one more thing, in order to be able to captioning the picture and etc., you can have the begin figure argument. If you remember, we need this argument in order to in order to be able to add captions, and also referencing, adding label to our picture, and having the picture in our list of tables. So we will do the same here. After TikZ, we have our figure, and inside this place we can have captions, caption, and also label. For example, picture 1. Inside of caption, this is just a TikZ picture. Yes. For centering, we just need this argument, and our picture is now centered. So another important thing is that we can have a scale factor after the environment, just right after the environment. We can have a scale. Yes, we can, by default it is 1, and if we scale it twice, you can see the picture is twice bigger. But the 0 and 0 may change in scaling option, but it is constant in relative to the other points in your picture. It is really important. Instead of scaling all the picture 2 times, we can have X scale, for example twice, and also Y scale twice, which leads to this picture itself. But if you scale one of them differently, the size will change, and it may be useful for whenever you need extra spaces, for example vertically. So I believe the scale option is introduced. For in draw command we have multiple options here. For example, if I add this option, this will tell LaTeX that you need a pointer to your destination. For example, if I add this in grid, we do not use this, but in our draw command, if I just delete the first part, yes, we can have, yes, and you see from 1 to 1 we have this pointer. Our destination is now have a pointer. So for having this in reverse, now we have our beginning point in pointer. We can have also these, which 2 points are pointer kind simultaneously. So also we have these, which add some line in our beginning. So in order to create axis, and also, yes, in order to create axis, we can have this, and in this stage we must define the upper range and then the center one, and at last we have the right axis, the coordination of all those 3 points. For example, if we have this, now we have 2 axes here, which I can change it so we can see it better by adding another argument here. We can have thick here, which changes the size of the line. So I believe just I will change this scale. I believe it's kind of awkward here to have different size in our axis. Yes. So, and also we want to change the size of our axis. Yes, we are good to go. For changing thickness, we have various options. First, we have ultra thin, and then we have thin, very thin, then we have thin and semi thick, we have thick, we have very thick, and also ultra. I believe there is a space. You can put it in your document whenever if you want to try it. For example, if I want to ultra thick, I just grab this and paste it here, and you are good to go. And all of them are the same. So this is just for changing the thickness of your line. I believe thick would be enough here. You can change it manually if you want exact point for your width. For example, if you add line width here, you can change it, for example, to 12, which is in point. And if you want to have it, for example, in centimeter, you just have to add the centimeter into your command. So I believe thick would do just fine here. And then we can talk about the dash or dash dot here. For example, if we want to have our document, let me just delete those arguments. If we want to have our line dashed, we just type dashed here. If we want our line dotted, we just type dotted. If we want our dash dotted, I believe this is no, dash dot is wrong. I believe this is no, yes, dash dot. We have our line dash dot here. Another thing is that we can change the color of our line if we want to. For example, we can have dash dot and then our color. The order of your argument is not important in this part. If you can also have various color here. I believe we will have red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, black, gray, dark gray, light gray, brown, lime, olive, orange, pink, purple, teal, violet, and white in default. And if you want to add another specific color, you can have this with defined color. If you remember from last session, you need to define a name, olive green, then you specify the standard, and on then you will have, I believe that was the code for olive green, and then olive green, and then no, I believe the parentheses are extra here. Yes, now we have our olive green dash dot and thick line from 1 and 1 to 3 to 4. So that was about color.